What I learned changed. What I learned, the information I put in my head, the people I surrounded myself with, like the information, I learned the basics. It wasn't just out here a bunch of raw energy and trying to make things happen and I feel it and this is what I think I should do. This is what I feel I should do. I went from all of the head and the feeling of what I think I should do, what I think works, to, let me follow a process that I know works, which is why the information in this webinar is so important, because when you learn these secrets, this is literally going to put you on a fast path to success. And these are all actionable things. I mean, there's people who learn the information that is in this webinar that is on the fast track, that have generated thousands of dollars, that are making the impact that they want to make in the community and making an impact on their audience from the same exact information that we're going to cover in this webinar. So some of the biggest questions that I get is, one, do I need to be a certified coach? No, you don't. A lot of people think you have to be certified in order to start coaching. You don't. Anytime you see anybody who says they have a certification program, that's actually because they've created the certification. There is no state regulation that says in order for you to teach coaching that you have to be certified. This is not, therapy, or this is not, you're not an attorney, right? There's no governing body that says you have to be certified in order to train and teach you what you do. Question number 2, Coach T. Well, do I need a following on social media? No, you do not need a following on social media. Like I mentioned earlier, I literally didn't have anybody follow me online. I decided that this is what I wanted to do, and I just started putting myself out there. And I got better along the way. See, the thing is, you don't have to start with an audience. Everybody that you know, that you respect, that you follow, started with donut. They started with nobody knowing what they did. They started with not knowing what to do. They didn't even know what to put online. And I really wasn't sure. Half the people I work with don't even know how, don't even know all of the features of Instagram, social media, TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, and trying to figure these things out. LinkedIn, right? So they're just trying to figure the things out, but you do not need a following. You already have the knowledge and the information in your head already. Let's not downplay that. You have it already, which means that you already have something, the nucleus of what people already know. So even if all you did was jump on the phone with somebody and just start talking to them and coaching on what you know, I mean, that in itself would be valuable. Now, if you want to get paid more, right? If you want them to work with you for a longer period of time, if you want to get paid higher prices, then you got to have structure, you got to have systems, you got to be organized, right? You got to have the curriculum laid out. So there's certain things you need to have in order to look like a professional and to get paid more, but don't get it twisted. You already have what you need to know right here. Do I need any money to start this? How much do I need to start? Look, I'm gonna tell you this, that what's so great about what we do is that there's no big giant overhead. It's not starting a restaurant business. You're starting an online based business about something that you love, teaching people and things that you love, that you're passionate about, and that you would do even for free, which 9 times out of 10, you're probably already doing it for free. And now you're like, I want to get paid to do it, right? So, but in order to really start, you don't really need that much money. I mean, it depends on what you have, depends on like the resources you have available to you, right? So, I can help you with, hey, if you say, hey, you know what, I really don't have that much money to spend, then we could talk about bootstrapping it. How do you spend $0, or how do you spend very minuscule little money on certain softwares and tools and resources to create the coaching experience and the system that you need? Or if you say, you know what, I got some money to spend, I got some resources to spend, then I can say, okay, well, if you want to get this solution or all in one software, or if you want to use, you want to get these systems that automate these tasks, and right? And so then we could talk about, being able to charge a little bit more, right? Or if you need some help, you need to hire, right? And you got some money to do that, we can talk about that. So it depends on what you have. But if you come in and you just say, right now I need to keep the payments low, then we could really talk about, okay, well, here's some tools and some resources that you can use to get this going for little to no money. Isn't this a crowded market? Isn't there too many people trying to be coaches right now? And I'm saying, no, right now we are in an industry that's literally will be a $1 trillion industry, right? Like a $1 trillion industry. Like, do you understand right now? I think we're only cracking the surface with like 200 billion. You know what I mean? And the fact that we're going to $1 trillion industry, like the online e-space, $1 trillion industry. You got to remember, everything is going online, right? Everything is more mobile. Everything you're starting to get more access to. So which means that more people are putting their focus and their attention online. They're taking their education online, and they're looking for people who they can go to online instead of going to your traditional colleges, paying 30, 40, 50 grand a year and leaving school with $200,000 in debt. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people are tired of that model, and they're looking for a model that they don't have to take courses and classes that's not relevant to them. Let me just get the juice. Let me find the person who can teach me exactly what I need. I don't got to take all this extra stuff. Let me learn what I need to learn, get the skills so I can be able to go out into the marketplace or go out into the world and feel better or do better or have more. You feel what I'm saying? So absolutely not. The space is only growing, and you have the ability to get a piece of that, but you got to get in the game. Philosophy. And the reason that this is important is because everything starts in the mind. A lot of times we have so many doubts that it strangles us from being successful in the way that we know that we really could be successful, because we're doubting ourselves so much. Oh my God, if I put this out, will people be receptive to it? If I put myself out there, will people doubt me? If I put myself out there, will people want to buy it? Will they be receptive? When we go through all of these different scenarios, am I ready yet? Is it perfect? And because we're going through all of these different mental blocks, all it's doing is delaying our progress. All it's doing is making us procrastinate. We're labeling it as perfection, but we're really scared. It's called fear. So because of that fear and all because of the overthinking, and we keep pump faking. We keep saying, I want to do it, right? I know this is something I want to do. I want to be able to go full time one day. I want to be able to do this and be able to travel the world. I want to be able to speak on stages. I want to write books. I want to change lives. I want to have programs. I want to be helping people. I want groups. I want to be able to do all of these beautiful things. And you want to, and you absolutely can, but it all starts in the mind. It all starts in the mind. And if you don't have it yet, you need to act as if you already have it. Act as if you already have the confidence to just do it and just help people that you know you can help. That's the easiest place to start. Coach T, what do you mean by that? So you want to help people who are in a position that they know less than you, right? So let's say you're looking at a timeline, right? So let's just say, not a timeline, but let's look at an experience line, right? So let's say somebody from, level, let's just say 1 through 5. 5 is top experience and 1 is beginner level, right? Let's say based on everything that let's say you're at about a 3. Well, guess what? Everybody who is at about everybody who's a 1 or 2 on that scale will want to learn from you because they have somewhere to go. And the more you do it, the more you learn, the more you have insight about what you have. Let's say you move up to a 4 on the experience level. Now, guess what? Everybody 1 through 3 is going to want to work with you. And that's what's really great about coaching, is that you don't have to have all the answers. When I started, I didn't really know everything about business. I couldn't tell you how to make 6 figures. I couldn't tell you what you needed to do to create your programs. Literally, when I first started, my goal was, okay, well, let me help you find your niche. And then it was like, okay, well, you want to create a program? I can show you how to do that. You want to create a course? I can show you how to do that. And then my experience level went up. And then I said, well, I can show you really how to grow your social media. Then my experience went up. And then I said, well, you know what? I can also show you how to be able to generate leads and get appointments in your calendar. Then I went up and I said, I can show you how to get clients. My experience level going up, right? And then I said, I can help you make your first $1,000 per month, $5,000 per month, $10,000 per month, $20,000, $30,000. So and it went up from there. But I didn't start there. I had to start at the beginning because my experience level wasn't there yet. So don't be afraid to help people with where you're at in the journey. Create a profitable coaching program. So what that really looks like is you got to put together a program that we know can help the people, right? That can help the people that is lower than us on that scale. So you want to be able to take your knowledge and your expertise, you want to take that out of your head, and then you want to organize it in a way that that'll say, okay, well, with these set of experiences that I know, 3 things, 5 things, 10 things, whatever that is, you say, okay, well, I know these things here. Let me create a program and a curriculum that's going to teach people those actual things. Right now, if you're not really sure, or if you say, yo, Coach T, I only really know 2 or 3 things out of my experience, this is where you really got to go and you got to do your research. So you have to do your research. So some of the things that I did was I would look at YouTube comments. I would look at videos that were on the topics that I wanted to teach and train on. And what I would do is I would look and I would say, okay, I see that this topic is on, I changed my niche a few different times, right? So let's just say, one time I was teaching like productivity. So I would look and I would say, okay, well, let me look at everybody who's teaching productivity and time management. And then I will look at all of the questions. I will look at all of the things that people said, things that people wanted to know in the comments, things that people said was well. And I would literally just be taking notes. So when I trained or when I was creating my curriculum or creating my topics, I would have a deeper level of knowledge to be able to draw from, or I can give my perspective on certain topics. A lot of times we actually know it deep down inside in your mind and in your heart. You actually really have a lot more content that you can train and teach people on, or you can give them inside of your program. The problem is that we overthink it sometimes, and we think it has to be a lot deeper than it's supposed to be. So that actually stifles us from really training as great as we can really train. Does that make sense? So sometimes it takes some research. It might take you reading some books. It might take you reading reviews. Go to Amazon. Why don't you read the reviews? Go to YouTube, read the comments, join some Facebook groups that's in the actual niche of what you want to learn. Follow the top influencers in your niche or in your space, and look at what people are doing. And that research is going to allow you to have a bigger, a deeper breadth of knowledge. Well, how do I do the personal branding, right? Once you got these pieces down, now it's really about attracting the right people to you. Now, there's some things that you need to know in order to really get people to attract to you, because the branding is what makes you stand out. I had somebody ask me one time, they said, yo, coach, how do I stand out in this marketplace? I see a lot of people doing it. I see a lot of life coaches, people who are doing the type of coaching I want to do. And I'm going to tell you this, branding is what's going to be the differentiator, right? So you need to learn specifically, well, how to differentiate yourself. So what are some things that you're going to take into consideration, right? One, appearance is an easy one, like your image. With that, you can easily look at yourself and say, okay, well, what are some things that people can identify with me? I got a friend who or peer in the industry, and literally he wears his suits and ties, and specifically a blue suit and specifically a red tie, right? There's a lot of people like E.T. People know him for his dress down, for his shorts, for the hat. People recognize the hat, right? So from an appearance standpoint is one. Your values and your beliefs. If people know that you stand by something, if there's certain values that you believe, if there's certain beliefs that you stand firm, you stand strong in, and people continually see that from you over and over and over, then obviously, that's the brand that's going to differentiate you. What do you do? Are you telling people what do you do, right? In order to really build a personal brand, people need to know what you do. This is something that for years I had to really get straight. I did a post that said, I am not a motivational speaker. I am a business coach. And I just straight had to do it like that, because I remember going to parties and people like, yo, I love what you're doing. I love that you're motivational speaking. I used to say, oh my God, that is not what I do. That is not what I do. I help businesses, specifically I help coaches build up successful online coaching businesses. So that was the challenge, was really getting the brand out. But the more consistently you put out the things that you want people to know, the more consistently that they'll actually know you for that thing. How do I get the credibility, right? How do I do that? How do I get people to pay the prices? I'm gonna tell you something. When you have the credibility, you have the prices, actually you'll be able to get paid more. The credibility is going to come from how long you're in this business. It's going to come from how many people you begin to help. All of this is building a brand, right? When you're able to start to showing more testimonies, where you're able to really start helping more people get results, your brand is going to build, and people are going to start paying more of your prices, right? It's going to be people's perception of how much you can really help them, and then how much they see that you're helping other people and what you're doing for other people. That's part of building a brand too. It's like, yo, every time I see such and such, yo, they're helping people. They showing testimonies of what they're doing. I see them on coaching calls helping people. I see the results that they got for this person. And that is what's also going to build the brand. We're going to talk more about this inside of the Coaching Business Basics course, but just realize that you want to be focused on these different areas of your personal brand. And the more that you do it and you build it and you help people, the more you can actually be able to charge, and the more that you'll win in terms of this personal branding game and getting known in the marketplace. Fourth secret is publicity. So your goal is you want to be able to put yourself out there so you can find and attract the clientele, baby. This is where the rubber meets the road. See, a lot of times people that, you might have one element where you know what you want to help people with. You might know what your mindset, you might feel like my mindset is good. I'm willing, I'm not afraid, I'm putting myself out there. You might say I have the coaching program. right? Okay, I have that tight. You might say, you know what? I got the branded piece. I know how I'm differentiated, but you can still be in a place where it's like, but why am I not generating revenue? Right? I run into a lot of folks, especially my intermediates, right? If you're getting inconsistent sales and you're not generating the revenue the way you do, or the way that you feel like you should, or as much as you should, as predictably as you should, or maybe maybe the money you've been making has been coming in through referrals and it hasn't really been consistent. Your income has been up and down. This is the piece that's really been hurting you. Is this finding and attracting client piece, right? This publicity piece with helping people with helping people bridge the gap between you posting and you actually getting clients, because a lot of times people think I'm just going to post on social media and I'm going to get all of the clientele in the world, and it doesn't quite work like that. You feel what I'm saying? How it really works is, you really when you're putting out this content, you don't want to have the post and pray syndrome. Post and pray is you post online and then you pray that you get clients, right? You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to be able to bridge the gap for people. So you want to be doing things in a marketplace that's going to allow you to book appointments. Our goal, especially as we're charging higher for our coaching services, you got to realize that you got to book more appointments. Simple, meaning do things like webinars, meaning do things like give away lead magnets, give away resources that people are going to want to exchange their information for. And then now they're going to be on your email list. Now they're going to want to have a deeper level conversation with you. Give away a free strategy session. Give away something that's going to allow you to speak to people and really let them know how you can serve them and answer their questions. Once you're doing that consistently, that's going to allow you to take your business to the next level, because now that's going to separate you from everybody just giving free. Oh, it's all bubbles and clouds and sunshine, and I'm just giving away all of this free value. The thing is, give away free, but give a call to action at the end of a webinar. Give your resources away free. I'm not saying you can't give away your ebook. I'm not saying you can't give away a training. I'm saying give it away free, but to get it, all right, let's exchange your name and the email for that, because what that's going to allow you to do is that's going to allow you to be able to do follow-up emails ongoing every week or multiple times a week. That's going to allow you to provide value. That's going to increase your your like, and your trust factor. Those are the things that you really want to have in order to take somebody's, life, business, whatever you're helping with, to the next level. You got to continually feed them information, feed them videos, feed them so they can continue to learn. And then when they're ready, they're going to book an appointment with you. And then once they book that appointment with you and they're ready, they're going to sign up. But everything's not always going to be immediate. And if it is, great, you got to sell. But if it's not, you got to understand that it's going to come down to you being able to do the long-term nurture follow-up, right? And so that's you got to understand how to do that. You got to understand that unless you're getting people on a call, you're not putting yourself in position to win. Public speaking. What do I need to do in order to really get this public speaking thing off the ground? How do I do it? And how does this really help me build a profitable coaching business, right? And really master the basics? I'm gonna tell you this, is that people, in order to get coaching clients, people are going to see us speaking somewhere. Usually they'll see us speaking to a client online. They'll see us speaking to an audience. They see us speaking directly to the camera, right? So for us, it's really important that we also master the skill of speaking, because because us communicating is what's actually going to draw people in as well in terms of helping. So there's a couple of things that you're going to want to know, right? It's going to be one, well, you're going to know how do I actually do a speech, right? So you're going to be speaking on camera, short form, but you also need to learn how to put together a speech, right? So that's very important. So what are some elements of a speech that you really need to know? Well, one, anytime you're doing a speech anywhere, you always want to thank the people that you bring in. So always thank the facilitators, thank the people for coming out, because they didn't have to take the time to really come out and, to do that. Two, you want to have some kind of hook. Maybe you ask a question, have a hook to capture people's attention, right? People in their phone, they scrolling, they everywhere. You got to bring them back to the room, right? Three, give them context to what you just said, because you gave them a hook. Now they're all ears. Another thing you want to give them is, well, who are you? You feel what I'm saying? Like, who are you? People want to know who's the person that's in front of the room. So give them your story. Let them know who you are. Give them your results. Let them know the results that you've had. Another thing that you can give them is, well, what do they need to know? You feel what I'm saying? Like, what do they need to know in order? So you give them like 3 to 5 tips. That depends on how many people are in a room that you can do, that you have in there. So I mean, at a minimum, you want to give those things. Now, there's other things that I'll give you inside of the actual coaching, business basics course that you'll be able to know. But just even learning those elements, that'll give you enough to really go in and really start giving some real value. All right. But we'll go through the entire list because there are more elements to it, but we'll go through the entire list. Right. So you have that. And then when you're out speaking on the other end, just remember that you doing speaking engagements that can help, whether you're speaking to somebody's community online through a webinar. It's nothing just to hit somebody, text somebody, let them know, hey, I see that you got this community. Hey, can we go live together and do something like that? Or you could do a speaking engagement when you're on the stage actually helping people. You feel what I'm saying? And then you can actually help people that way. So people ask and say, yo, Coach T, well, how do I actually, get speaking engagements? Look, to get speaking engagements, your goal is you got to be clear on what your niche is. A lot of times people want to do engagements, but they don't know what their niche is. So they have nothing focused. If you know that, if you want to help people with, let's say, sales, well, why don't you go to organizations and nonprofits and places and teach sales, right? If you say, well, it's life coaching, well, what specifically in life coaching? Oh, it's trauma. Okay, well, now let's find organizations. Let's talk to the kids about the trauma. You feel what I'm saying? Like now specific places you can go because there's specific organizations that you want to help people with, right? If I'm teaching entrepreneurship and business, well, guess what? There's organizations that I can go to that focus on entrepreneurship and business. Does that make sense to you? So that's the idea of is getting super clear on your niche and then just reaching out to the individuals, calling up the schools, going to the websites and looking at the events that are coming up, searching for events that are coming up in your local city. Just do a Google search, call them up, find out who the decision maker is, find out who, email, fill out the little form on their website. So this is going to take hustle. This ain't going to be no overnight thing. Right. But what's going to do is it's going to give you credibility because you're going to get the footage. But then it's also going to be able to, you'll get some money paid for the speaking engagement, but it's also going to allow you to get clients at the facility, at the place that you're at, which is going to allow you to be able to grow your coaching business.